Hey everybody, Nora Demers here. I'm the current chair of the Estero Bay Agency on Bay Management. I'd like to show you a little bit of information that can help orient you for the organization. If you just type in Estero Bay ABM, you will get to this link, excuse me. And if you scroll down, let me point out a few things for you. So this explains how we became an entity as a result of the lawsuit filed against the state of Florida. The Responsible Growth Management Coalition and Ellen Peterson were the signatories to that. I'm a member of the Responsible Growth Management Coalition. I came here in '97 when the university opened. I felt I should say that for full disclosure. Now, if you go down here, there's 6 items, but unfortunately, they don't look hyperlinked. So perhaps the most important one are the principles of the Estero Bay Agency on Bay Management, and you can see the last time we posted a revision of them was in 2002. So that says how important we feel these principles are as we proceed. So these are the principles. I don't want to go through them all, but you can see most of them have to do with preserving the habitat and understanding that that needs to happen within the confines of the Lee County Lee Community Plan. So if we continue, every time we write a letter, we refer specifically to the language about the Estero Bay Agency on Bay Management, how we were founded, and point out the specific principles that we're addressing, and usually with recommendations on ways that we can, as a community, do better. So let me go back again. So that's the principles. The Arnold Committee report. Let me start with the settlement agreement. This is actually the settlement agreement that was signed, that came to the creation of the Estero Bay Agency on Bay Management, and that was the 10th of April, 1995. So if you've got a lot of time and want to read that, you're welcome to. The next thing to show would be the Arnold Committee report. The Arnold Committee report is a product of that settlement agreement, and it provided reports and recommendations for the Estero Bay Agency on Bay Management. And you can see lots and lots of topics. You can see the similarity to our principles, and we continue to strive toward the recommendations that are identified in this document. That's the Arnold Committee report. This is, a random master plan update from FGCU. I'd be totally happy to give you more of them that are more recent. And then an FGCU master plan. So let me show you just a couple more things. The agenda and minutes are not very helpful unless you click on them, which is always a challenge, but most government agencies work this way. We are working on a revision to the webpage that hopefully will fix that. Excuse me. The Celatega means view from a high ground. It's a series of conferences. Our first ones were really targeting Lee County and local managers and land acquisition. It was a time when the counties and municipalities were much more active, especially Lee County. And then perhaps the one that gave the most bang for our buck and is used most often for organizations is this Conservation Lands Economic Values. And I just want to point out, we had Richard Weisskopf talking about other perspectives rather than just ecosystem services like jobs, agriculture. We had Dennis Gilkey talking about the benefits of conservation lands for real estate value. Former director of the CHNEP about infrastructure, and it goes on. So we had Tamara, who was a member of the ABM before she became the executive director of Visitor Convention Bureau, and there was her presentation. And you can see we had the fishermen, and then we have a whole afternoon as well. But I'm just trying to give you an overview. I don't want to take too long. Our 2016 was resiliency and adaptation in the Estero Bay watershed. And again, if you click on these, you can actually see every one of those presentations. Our most recent was in 2020, and it was the Estero Bay is in trouble, what citizens can do to help. This was January 25th. Tabs to go across them. Every one of these, let me see if I can find it really quickly for you, We have YouTube videos that will link to every presentation, and I believe they are right here. Okay? And so every one of these, you can click on it, and that will get you directly to the presentations. Okay, so Brad, Michelle, okay? And this was about what citizens can do to help, and that is quite often engaging with our elected officials, and so sometimes that might be considered, I'll leave that thought alone. Okay, and then let me go back to the Estero Bay Agency on Bay Management. Oops, sorry. And wrap this up because I know I've spent 5 minutes already. Resources, somewhat helpful. Most important probably are the State of the Bay reports that Jim Beaver has been doing since the university opened in '97. You can see they're 5 years apart. And they have an amazing collection of data and information about the entire Estero Bay watershed. So water quality, wildlife, social aspects, and lots and lots of graphs and figures that are showing what's happening to water quality over a period of time, and lots of other information. Lots on the water quality. We want to do a revision. We want to do an update of this to make it more comprehensive and historical. You can see we only go to 2009 here, but he's been making these since '97. So that's one of the things that we would like to get some additional funding to pull together. Okay, so I hope that that provides you with an adequate orientation of the Estero Bay Agency on Bay Management, so that you feel that if you're a new member, you can jump into the deep end and help us achieve our goals. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you at our next meeting.